this is not charity. This is not, hey, we're just hiring individuals because sounds like a good thing to do. This makes good business sense.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to tell business owners. Like, yeah, it may be a feel-good story, but you're not doing it for that reason. You're doing it because it makes good business sense.
Yeah.
And it's benefiting you as a business owner and that individual, and it's benefiting your community.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.
Give me your kind of pitch. So if a business, you're at one of those chamber events and a business owner comes up to you and he's just talking, you guys are shooting the breeze and he's like, I'm having labor problems. I need 5 people right now.
Right.
What's kind of your pitch to him? Like, hey, you know what? This is what we can do for you. This is something you should look at, and these could be the benefits.
Right. And I always look at those situations like, well, I don't want to set ourselves or our individuals up for failure. So typically what I say was, well, what are you looking for? What skills are needed? To make sure we might have matches for that. But so let's say we're beyond that, and it's like, oh, it sounds like a match. Then sometimes I'll start to, well, what is your typical absenteeism rate? How long do people stay at their job? And then I can start to give statistics. Well, here's where our absenteeism rate much lower than the average American workforce.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, it's proven out that, and I can probably get you actual statistics, but those things are there, and some of those things are on like the Employment First websites, and again, we want individuals we serve to have fulfilling, independent lives. But some of the things in life that may get in the way of employment for you or I, some of our individuals may not be there at that point in their life when they're first taking that job. They may not be married, they may not have children. All of those things that can affect, hey, I need to miss for my children's sporting event or my child's medical appointment. Not to say that people we serve don't have some of those things going on in their life. But there's, to be quite frank, there's a majority of our individuals that don't have some of those other life stressors. They have other barriers and other life stressors, but some of those aren't related to causing them to miss work or have absenteeism from work. So, we talk about some of those things, to be frank. I always believe if you're going to have that conversation, you just lay it on the table and say, hey, here's some things as to maybe why our individuals could be a better fit. And a lot of the individuals that we serve, think of maybe, I look at the gamut of what they've been through in school, probably building good relationships in a smaller, tighter, whereas you or I might have been in a classroom with 30 other students. Some of our individuals we serve, they might have been in a classroom with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 other kids. So they probably learn to be part of a team and work on task with their team, their fellow students, work with their teacher, going out and having those, community experiences and being involved in that. So I think being able to tell the history maybe of how some of our individuals we've really worked on transition. That is also part of like special education law now. So when a student hits a certain age, like age 14, if a child's on an IEP, like transition to adulthood and work life is one of the things that they need to work on.
Right.
Whereas maybe a student that's not on an IEP, they go to school, okay, maybe they go find a job, but there's actual work done with those students to try and prepare them for the workforce.
Right.
And then also give that pitch of, we can bring staff along or someone else can to do the work of training them. Don't worry about the training. Don't worry about you have to do your onboarding, HR, all of those things. But when it comes to learning the job skill or the training, you show, someone, and then we'll have that person, spend the time with them. So I really do think the pitch is how it's a win for them, that they'll get a dedicated workforce that will show up for work, and that it's hopefully not going to cost them any more money for the initial onboarding than it would any other employee. I mean, it's a business, right? They're there to make a profit. It's not, and
those are two huge things. I don't know a lot of business owners that wouldn't immediately go, hey, what?
Yeah, and that's the way we talk about it as well. That this is not charity. This is not, hey, we're just hiring individuals because sounds like a good thing to do. This makes good business sense.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to tell business owners. Like, yeah, it may be a feel-good story, but you're not doing it for that reason. You're doing it because it makes good business sense.
Yeah.
And it's benefiting you as a business owner and that individual, and it's benefiting your community in general, the inclusiveness of that. And I think that just builds then, if you have a diverse workforce that's also inclusive and they see individual, that may inspire some other young person with a disability as they go through that business. Oh, I could do that one day too. Right? What we kind of see every day and what we take in becomes like our circle of, our thought patterns. And if you have that inclusive workforce, that may inspire some other young individual like, oh, I might want to come work for this business one day. So again, it's just that snowball effect and organically to get it going. But yeah, that pitch to those business owners has to be of how it benefits their business, not how it benefits us as a public agency or just that one individual.
Right.
Like how everyone, that it's a win-win relationship.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.